Hi, my name is Joyce Zhang. I'm the Senior Intelligent Automation Program Manager here at CampTek Software.
And hi, my name is Gretchen Hyslip. I'm the Director of Customer Operations.
Welcome to another episode of Camp, a podcast on all things automation. Today, we're going to talk about intelligent document understanding. So, Gretchen, if you find that in a scope call or in an information session with a client or a potential client, you see opportunities for document understanding, how do you go about explaining that to them?
It's a really good question, Joyce. And we've seen that before in task mining collections and scoping processes. Often it starts with a question from the SME or process owner. Can the bot do this? The answer is absolutely, with some help from a document understanding tool. That's when we bring in the concept of document understanding as a piece of the RPA automation that will assist with reading, for example, a doctor's note. Which leads me to a really good question for you, Joyce. How do you integrate RPA into a document understanding tool?
Well, I think what we need to do is start with the basics. The simplest form of OCR that everybody has is online banking. And that's when you want to deposit a check, you go into the app, you go click the deposit the check in the banking app, and you take a picture of the front and you take a picture of the back. You fill in the amount that you are depositing. And in the bank's backend, they'll use OCR to read the text and the amount and verify based on the amount that you have entered, whether those two items match. And then OCR, which is optical character recognition, nowadays has come a long way in the past 5 to 6 years. In a large part due to the advancement of big tech companies in Silicon Valley and in Redmond, Washington. And they've devoted a lot of resources into creating mapping OCR engines that most document understanding companies utilize. And so we'll take that and pair it with RPA tool. And the document understanding tool is really used as a form of ETL. So we'll extract, it'll transform, and it'll load. The extraction and transformation come from the document understanding tool, and typically, we want the results to come out in an Excel file or a CSV, maybe a JSON, and RPA takes that information in that data table format, then do the loading into the desired system.
Okay, that makes sense. So for example, we're working with a healthcare system out in the Midwest who receives thousands of documents per day and has a team of people reading those documents and moving them through programs like Epic to verify and approve requests. As we know, it's a massive undertaking regularly that is repetitive, repeatable, and perfect for RPA automation. So to Joyce's point, and thank you, Joyce, the document understanding tool is used to read the documents coming in, and RPA completes the steps to wrap up the rest of that process, for example.
Yeah. So how would you onboard a client who needs document reading and RPA?
That's a great question. And I'll kick us off here just from the program management and the customer success side, and then I'll hand it off to you, Joyce, to do more technical needs. But as your project manager will definitely reach out to you, of course, to set up meetings and give you an overview of what to expect in the coming weeks. Ideally, we'll meet with you and your team to review the timeline and document collection needs, and then we'll review the process steps for automation and start training the tool. So Joyce, for example, I know the document reading tool takes 250 documents at a minimum to kind of train it, but how else would you do that on a more technical end?
So here are some of the steps that are required. We'll need to set up the existing tools. We'll need access for our developers. That means credentials and any type of VPNs that will require us to access any different points for the different systems. We would like to map and identify those fields in the documents that require extraction, and some sample documents, at least 50, to teach the document understanding tool to start.
Yeah. That's really cool. So I guess a follow-up question for you, Joyce, is what kind of documents can a document understanding tool process?
It can process structured, unstructured, handwritten, multiple pages, invoices. The possibilities currently are really endless. The innovations are always happening and improvements are happening on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I hope that sheds some light on document understanding. Feel free to reach out for more information. Our blog post is linked in the description below. Like and subscribe. See you next week.